This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 things that accelerate the ascension process, how you can easily apply them in your life, and how doing so will change your life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 things that make the ascension process speed up, understanding that first off, this is something that you came for. Maybe just understand that first and foremost, that you came here. One of the main reasons that you came to Earth was because you wanted to go through this ascension process. Because you knew that by coming here, there was going to be more ability to transform in this life than ever before. And right now on the planet, what is happening is Gaia herself, the planet, is raising her vibration, and we are on Gaia, and because the planet is raising her vibration, we are also raising our vibration. This is something we knew that when we came, we were going to go through these different layers of ascension. So think about it also, we are ascending from a lower level consciousness of what is called the 3rd dimension, 3D reality, which is the dimension of control, duality, good, bad, light, dark, attachment to thinking. It is really where the ego likes to live. And there's also this strong sense of separateness. It's like, I am this person, you are that person. If you don't have my beliefs, then I don't agree with, or there's like this conflict that happens. And there's a lot of control that normally happens in the 3rd dimension as well. There's a level of control where it comes to corporations, or it comes to like how things are done. This is something that has been on in our society for a very long time. And what happens is we have that 3D reality. We are now moving into a 4D and 5D reality. The 4th dimension is all about vibration. Understanding that there's also not so much an emphasis on time because everything exists now. So for example, in 3D reality, there is this past, present, future, and everything's very linearly thinking. If you want to track something in your life, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of trying, because you're trying to get that from over there to into here. But with the 4th dimension way of going about things, it's more about vibration. It's more about understanding that you can tune to the vibration of what you want to experience and then resonate with that reality. The 4th dimension, there's still a certain level of polarity. So there will be good, there will be bad, but it's coming from a much different place. It's coming from a higher vibrational place. And we then have the 4th dimension, which kind of like you realize that life in a way is like a dream. And the more you realize that your life is like a dream, the more dream-like your life becomes. So it's this very lucidity, like lucid type place to where life also becomes much more fun, much more light. So this is when the body starts to go from more carbon base of the 3D reality into what is called a crystalline base of the 4 and 5D and above realities, which is where we're moving. We're literally turning into what are called light beings. We are transmuting our body from carbon base into more light base. And that's happening on the planet right now, and it's been happening. So we are moving in this direction, and the 5D reality would be more so of unconditional love, creating from our heart, and knowing that we're all connected as well. Like what you get out, what you put out is what you get back, because what you do to someone else is what you do to another aspect of you. Because at a deeper level, there is just you. Everyone is another aspect of you. So that's going a little bit further down the rabbit hole. But ascension in general is about raising your vibration, because as you raise your vibration, you also feel higher vibrational emotions. So emotions such as shame, fear, guilt are more of a 3D programming. There's also in the 3D reality, it's almost all of it's programmed. People are programmed into social conditioning. They're programmed into thinking a certain way. And to think outside of that certain way, there's a lot of pain that's involved, or people perceive of that at least, because will people accept me? That's why you may notice that when people go through spiritual awakening, they feel like kind of just different, kind of ostracized in a way, because they don't think the same as everyone else. But you kind of have to challenge the system, and going through a spiritual awakening, that's part of the process, is when you realize that you are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, it challenges that whole belief system. So what's happening now is this raise in vibration allows us to feel more love, more bliss, more peace, more neutrality, being able to observe the 3D reality. So 3 things that will help you in this process. The first part of this, before I even get those 3 things, is understanding that your natural vibration is high. It's high. It is, the thing is what we do is we hold ourselves, think of it like a bob on the ocean. That bob is going to stay at the top. because that's how it works. But if you hold that bob under the ocean, which is the resistance, metaphor for resistance, then you will feel like the negative emotions, shame, fear, guilt, anger, because you're holding the bob under the ocean, not knowing why. Maybe just out of pattern because everyone else is doing it, with attachment to ideologies, thinking that you are your ego. And the key to really raising your vibration and ascending is really just letting go. It's letting go. If you stop holding the bob under the ocean, you'll naturally start to raise your vibration. So this makes it easier too, because sometimes people think, oh, this is where I am, I have to try to get to some higher level. But there is no higher level to get to, in the sense that you're not already there. Like the part of you, the high vibrational part of you, it's naturally broadcasting a frequency to you. All you got to do is clear out the static. Not necessarily have to pile on some new idea or get some new epiphany, your mind blows open, it's all this crazy cool ecstasy. It's not like that. It's more so you just let go of what doesn't serve, and your vibration naturally begins to raise. So that's what we can begin to do, is to let go of that bob on the ocean. And as we do, our vibration will naturally begin to raise. But the things I'm going to share with you are the 3 things that make ascension so much easier. And the first one you may have already done, but it's really important to understand this. The first thing you must do is you must realize that in your life, you do not need to have a victim mentality. When you go through a spiritual awakening, when I went through my spiritual awakening, I became aware that this information is known at different levels. So then I became aware that there was this whole control where it is in a way shielded from people understanding this. And because it's shielded from people understanding it, I was like, oh, they're holding the information, oh, the government, all of this stuff. And then you become almost like I was getting rid and realizing, opened up this new perspective, but I was then a victim of all of these things happening. I was like angry. I was like, why is this all happening like this? Why don't people know that they create their own reality? Why don't people know they're immortal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences? And I was, in a way, anger. I had anger about that. And the key to this process, though, if you really want to ascend your vibration, is you have to realize that you are not a victim. You are not a victim. If you think that you are a victim, then you will continue to be attached to the 3D perspectives, because the 3D perspective is all about victimization. They want to keep everything in the lower vibrational emotions. That's why 95% of the things you see or more on the news is completely negative. It keeps you triggered in those lower vibrational emotions. But the thing that's important to understand with this is that you are not a victim. Things don't happen to you, things happen for you. And this is coming from someone that's been through harsh things growing up. You may know my story, I'm not going to go too far into it, but I had an abusive ex-stepmom. She was in my life from 7 to 15 years old. She was mentally abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive, and it's something I went through. And even after it, I came out of it at 15, my dad divorced her. I'm like, oh, I have all this freedom now. I can eat food and I can have friends and all of this stuff. But even then, I had this like anxiety underneath. And I was like, well, why did this happen to me? I thought I was a victim. But then I realized that at a greater level, as crazy as this sounds, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because that led me to a spiritual awakening years later. That pain got transmuted into light, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if I didn't go through all that pain back in the day. So a lot of the worst things that happen in our life actually happen for us to grow. And it's hard to think of in the moment, but understand that you are an infinite spiritual being, and you knew that you were so strong that you could handle it. If you weren't strong, you wouldn't have gotten that situation. You were strong enough to handle it. And because of that, you can start to see that you're not the victim. That if you do think you're a victim, you'll create more and more experiences in your life of being a victim, and that identity will create more attachment to the 3D reality. With ascension, you have to realize that your thoughts create your reality, and that you must take ownership of everything that's happened to you. Doesn't mean it's okay, doesn't mean you're saying I want it to happen again, but it means that you're becoming aware that the one thing you have the ability to do in your life is to respond the way you choose to the things that happen. Not to control how they happen, but to choose how you respond to the things that happen. As you do that, you take your power back. You cannot change that which you do not own. So you must own it. Not in the sense that you say, oh yes, this happened to me, I deserved it. But you own it in the way that you say, I choose my response to it. Everything in life can have a silver lining, and you can begin to see that it can raise your vibration if you give it that meaning. In life, we get a reflection of the meaning we give things. So if you change that meaning, you change the result you get. I used to have the meaning that happened, I wasn't worthy, that's why my ex-stepmom was abusive, all of this stuff, it shouldn't have happened. And then I changed that, and I said, you know what? That led to a spiritual awakening. That happened because I could become stronger because of it. And then I started to experience a completely new reality. So that's the first thing you must do. Realize you're creating your own reality with your beliefs, and understand that you are not a victim. If you have the archetype of a victim mentality, you will continue to experience more and more victimization in your life. Someone will do something to you, people will talk about you, all of these things, and you think it's just them doing it to you. But it's really a victim mentality. So me saying this right now is me trying to break you out of the prison of your mind. It's me trying to break you out of this because I know how it is. I know that it's easy to get caught up with it. I know that sometimes it's comforting and it really emphasizes what you've been through and it validates it. But you gotta, if you want to get out of that 3D perspective, the things holding you down into the 3D reality, you must let that perspective go, and you must realize that you're not a victim. You are a creator. You create your own reality. You choose how you respond to things because you give the meanings to your life. No one else gives the meaning to it for you. You choose it. So realize that you can let it be that kind of choice. The second thing that you must do to accelerate the ascension process is radical forgiveness. Radical forgiveness. This is the key to all healing ever. Forgiveness. Forgiveness of self and forgiveness of other selves. What does that mean? Other selves. Well, let's raise our vibration right now to this new perspective. Depends on the dimensional perspective that we're choosing to look through. Imagine there's these lenses and we're looking through these different lenses. And in 3D lens, you look and you see separateness. You look at other people, you go, that's another person. You see separateness between things. You understand and you see the differentness, which creates more chaos. Then you move up to 4 and 5D reality. This is the new lens that switches through, and you start to see things as more connected to you. You start to see that people are reflections. You start to realize it's all about vibration. You perceive that which you are the vibration of. Now let's go to a 6th dimensional state of consciousness, which I haven't talked too much about, but this is the consciousness of unity. This is where we understand that we are all one. Knowing that we're all one, knowing that life is about experience and things that we can learn from, knowing that we came to earth so that we could forget who we are, so that we could go through a veil of forgetfulness, so that we could then wake up out of it and see if we could do it, we could then see that a lot of the people in our lives are other aspects of us. There are other aspects of us. And these people that we think are other people have a connection to us. So even when I look at someone like my ex-stepmom who was abusive, I can look at her and see that she was also abused when she was a kid from her own dad. She was playing out something that was unresolved within her. She was playing it out. Doesn't make it right, but I can start to see that most people are in the 3D reality just on autopilot. So a lot of the times when people do things to you, if someone steals from you, and maybe them playing out a pattern of their parents, and maybe them playing a pattern from a past life, who knows? They're playing out a pattern of the 3D reality. What does this help with? This helps us understand that they're doing the best with what they can with where they are. They're doing the best they can where they are with what they have. Which means that you can more so understand where they're coming from. If someone steals from you, it means they have a belief in scarcity. They don't believe in their own abundance, and they have a belief that they can and can't steal from friends, if it's a friend that stole from you or whatever it is. So understand that you can understand where someone is coming from. Don't have to agree with it and say this is right. But by understanding them and seeing them as connected to you, you can then forgive. And you must also forgive yourself. Understand you did the best you could with where you were. And you can start to let go of the negative perspective. All those negative perspectives, all the things that people do to you, all these negative things are illusions of the third dimensions there to help you understand that you control how you respond to it. And as you become aware of that, you start to take your power back. So the way you really raise your vibration is by healing, and the way you heal is by forgiveness. Forgiveness of self and forgiveness of other selves, because those other selves are other aspects of you at a deep level. Even at a surface level, but it's a little bit in the 3D program, like I'm Aaron Doughty and this is you, but that's just an illusion. We're all one. We're all connected. So forgiving them also clears the pattern within you. Holding on to grudges is holding on to it within your energy field. Then you go out and you attract similar situations in your life that mirror that pattern. The key is becoming aware of it and then letting it go. That's the key. And then you let go of it out of your energy field, and then it really heals. But if you hold it within your energy field, guess what? You're going to attract more and more people that reflect that back to you. You must complete the past. Completing the past by forgiving, becoming at peace with what's happened. And when you do that, everything begins to change. Now, the third thing that you must do to really ascend. The first two will get you into the ascension process to begin with. The third thing that you can do to ascend has to do with healing. I want you to think of this in the different chakras. Let's look at this real quick. This is something I may make a whole video about this. It's shifting from the bottom 3 chakras into the heart. Now, all of our chakras can be aligned. However, here's the key. Think of it like we have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the willpower, red, orange, yellow. Then we have the heart, which is green, which is a big energy center. Now, what we must do to really ascend is to shift our level of consciousness, and the way that we do that is by understanding that as we clear out each of these individual chakras, we then allow ourselves to make the shift into the heart. So the question I want to ask you is, when you look at your root chakra, what kind of beliefs do you have about survival? Are you in the fear mode of survival? Or do you know that you have enough food to eat, enough water to drink? Do you feel safe? And if not, become aware of the beliefs you have about fear, the beliefs you have about survival, because the beliefs create reality. And you can begin to clear that. You can begin to heal that. See that maybe in the past you're just playing out a belief of the 3D reality that has to do with that of believing you don't have enough, that you're afraid of what other people think of you. You're afraid of the survival that you have, having enough money. You become aware of where these all stemmed from, and as you do, you start to transform it. Now the second chakra, the sacral chakra, is about relationships, dynamics with family. Can you heal past relationships? Can you heal with family, with forgiveness, just what we talked about? Then you start to clear that out. And as you do, you start to heal, feel more connected to other people. You can even do meditations where you imagine light infusing each individual chakras of these. And then the third, the willpower. This is your drive. This is, are you moving towards what you're passionate about? Are you doing what you're passionate about? Are you moving that direction? Do you feel like you're procrastinating? Realize procrastination just comes from mixing up the motivational mechanism. We always move in the direction of what brings us pleasure, and we always move away from what brings us pain. If you change how you associate pain and pleasure, you then move where you want to go. Associate a lot of pleasure with taking action, doing what you love, and a lot of pain with doing what you don't love. You will then move in that powerful direction. You can clear out and see, what are your beliefs about working? Do you have to work hard to be successful? Can you do your passion for a living? Become aware of those beliefs. As you infuse healing into these bottom 3 chakras, you can then shift into the 4th chakra, which is your heart. The heart is more about being. The heart is more about understanding you are connected to everyone else. Everyone else is connected to you. When you create from the head, and also sometimes from the solar plexus, create from duality. I really, really want this. And because I really, really want it, your vibration is saying you really, really don't have it. Focus on being grateful for the present moment. Focus on being inside of your heart center. Focus on putting your energy over your heart, the attention over your heart for just 5 minutes a day. It'll change your life because you will grow the electromagnetic energy around your body. Get into your heart. Understand everyone is connected to you. These other people are other selves. They're other versions of you. Have more compassion. Clear, heal. As you clear, heal, and take the power back, you're going to start to ascend your vibration in a very powerful way. And the abilities that we're able to take on over the next 10, 15 years are going to be phenomenal. They're going to be things that we think are magic. Because as our body transmutes into more and more light, we have more and more of this power within us. So you can realize that you're not the victim. Start to take your power back. See things from this new point of view. Understand things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Secondly, radical forgiveness. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive other selves. Understand they did the best they could with where they were. As you have that forgiveness and you let go of it out of your energy field, you'll change your life. And then thirdly, shift out of the bottom 3 into the heart. You're still going to have energy in the bottom 3. It's not like you're only going to be in the heart center, but clear them, heal them, move into your heart center. Put the awareness over your heart for just 5 to 10 minutes a day and watch your life begin to change. Something else I have that will help you with this process is a free guided meditation, which you'll see in the top of the description box below, on raising your vibrational set point. It'll help you to ascend your vibration in a powerful way. Listen to it for 21 days. I think it can change your life. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. If you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, you can follow me right here. I do live Q&As almost every day, and I post twice a day there as well. Other than that, I want to thank you for being here. Peace, much love, and namaste.